Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Working Man Ron Doyle. I want to take you on a little bit of a project that I've been working on the past few months, involved in a driveway project in Laurel, Delaware. It's beginning to be a right lengthy project. I've got a mini skid steer, a Vermeer CTX 160 that I've been using on this project, and it's really not big enough to do this size of work. This video is about renting a Bobcat T-770 for this project, and what you could look forward to in renting a piece of equipment for your project and being productive on the job. Right now, I'm going to turn the camera around, take you down this new driveway project, which is approximately a half-mile long. We've done clearing, we've cut out a sand hill, and we spread sand throughout the whole entire driveway project to prep for fabric and recycle concrete. So put it in four-wheel drive, turn you around, and show you what I've done. Alright, this is the old driveway, and where this property is now serving a venue. This is the new driveway that was requested. I'm going to put it in four-wheel drive, and we're going to take you down this half-mile driveway. And we are right now at 5:19 p.m. and it is July the 7th. The fabric that we're spreading down this driveway is a heavy mill. It's 12.5 foot wide, and I'm gonna have to turn some air on. It's getting warm in here, but we did a lot, took out a lot of trees. Had a local gentleman with a 120 Hitachi excavator do a lot of tree removal. And this is adjacent to two other property owners, one on the left and one on the right. You can see all the timber that's down. Most of the timber with the root ball was taken down with the excavator, and it's made a lot of work for me. It saved a lot of work, but it's made a lot of work because I'm in the the middle of the firewood process, and I've got to process all these down trees on the side of this new driveway, which it's going to take a while. Now, the sand base that we're riding across is fairly soft. Back in January, February, this was so mushy back here. I was getting stuck with my mini skid. So we've bridged this road, this driveway up with sand that was cut off of this hill that we're approaching now. You can see the old farm truck. The gentleman with the excavator owns the farm truck, and he was jockeying dirt for me back and forth down the far end of this driveway. But the skid loader, the primary purpose of the skid loader was to cut the sand hill out and jockey dirt, and I've put approximately 100 hours on that skid loader in less than 2 weeks time. You can see right here how much of an embankment we've got on both sides. I'm gonna go a little faster through here so I don't get stuck. It's pretty soft. And this is going to be the this area right in here. It's going to be the parking lot area for the venue. It's going to have a wraparound for this pavilion and garage area right there. The driveway entrance to the property is over here to the right. This is going to be the new entrance right here. And the old entrance, that's the venue. The old entrance driveway is right there. hydraulic and lube from loading from the back. Lose a little bit of sand on his departure. It's pretty loud in here. Hopefully you all can see it and appreciate the video. Electric over hydraulics, there's a delay. I can't flip the bucket like I can over hydraulic control valves. Oh, looks like he's stuck. Looks like he's stuck. He's been stuck about a couple dozen times already. I go into the pintle, bottom of the truck, give a little lift, a little push. There he goes. This video presentation of renting the skid loader is about basic expenses that you would occur when renting equipment. Now, your expenses will be different from my experience with this. This is a 98-hour review on the machine and the expenses that were incurred. So take that with a grain of salt. None of this information is accurate online from what I could find. I wanted to do this video to show you what it's all about. This was rented from Equipment Share. I've got some my cheat notes for me. We started 6/24 of 2024, and we've rented this till 7/8 of 2024. It is rented from Equipment Share of Seaford, Delaware. This is roughly a 10,400 pound machine. It is a Bobcat T-770. It is a track machine, not a tire. You obviously can see that. But we're renting it for a period of 2 weeks, possibly extending it to a month. So I can't give you the total cost on rental, but I can give you a breakdown of what they charge at Equipment Share as of now. The daily rate for this machine is $385 a day. The weekly rate is $1,060 per week. The monthly rate is $2,385 per month. Now, when you rent a piece of equipment, they only allow you 8 hours in one working day of operating time. So if you rent it for one day, you can only operate it for 8 hours. You can't work overtime, or you're going to pay for another day. Same way with a week. If it's a week, even though we have 7 days a week, it's only a 40-hour work week. You can only run this machine 40 hours. If it's a month, it's going to be a total of 160 hours. If you're over that, they're going to charge you possibly for a month and a week, depending on how much time you go over this. We've used this skid steer, had it for 2 weeks. We've operated it for 98 hours, almost 100 hours in 2 weeks. A lot of overtime on this machine doing this driveway project. It is from the weekly rate of $1,060. 2 weeks would be $1,120. We could rent it for the month for $2,385. So we could actually keep this and run this additional hours. So I'm allowing the homeowner to make that decision on, do we spread recycled concrete now, or do we rent this machine at a later date when she's ready? This machine, the 4 requirements that I asked for, and this is, I've got a mosquito bothering me. This is things that you want to look for in your project and what you need. One of my first requirements was that it had an enclosed cab. I knew I was going to be doing cutting sand and spreading sand, very dusty condition. If it was an open cab, you'd have to have a respirator or a dust mask the whole entire time. So I requested a heated and air conditioning enclosed cab. That was my #1 requirement. Number 2 requirement, the biggest bucket that they had, I asked for a 96. All they had for this machine was a 80-inch bucket. The other requirement I asked for was 90 plus horsepower. I asked for a Kubota 97-95-2 skid steer, which is a 90 plus horsepower machine, or a Takeuchi TL12. They were having problems getting the machine. This one they got for me came from Baltimore. They transferred it from Baltimore location down to the Seaford, Delaware location so that we could use this. The 4th and final requirement I had for this machine is that it's a 2-speed. This driveway is a half-mile long. It's over 2,400 feet long. I wanted to be able to cut sand from the hill, this embankment you see on right and left side, all the way down to the end of the driveway. Not knowing if the helper that has the excavator and the farm truck could jockey the dirt for me, I had to be able to do it myself. I wanted one machine to do one job and do it effectively. I got this machine the day it arrived, and I'm looking on the machine for 2-speed stickers. Okay, I didn't see anything that said 2-speed. The delivery driver couldn't answer that question. He didn't know. I got in the cab. I could not find 2-speed. The delivery driver had left. The delivery driver told me he thought it was a 2-speed machine. I got in the machine and found out that it could not be operated in 2-speed. Online, they say this machine is rated at around 6.4 miles an hour. I set up GPS on my phone. This machine was teetering between 5 and 6. More on the 5 side than on the 6 side. A half-mile driveway going that distance is a very long span to jockey dirt back and forth. I was a little frustrated with that because I knew this project would be an extended project, possibly going over the 1 week allowance that we wanted to rent this machine for. It fell over to 2 weeks. I was a little annoyed by that because we couldn't get the work done that I requested for this machine to do in 1 week's period. So if you're renting a machine and you ask for high speed, you want 2 speeds to be able to travel, this machine listed online will do 10 miles an hour in second speed. That will jockey dirt back and forth. A 5-mile-an-hour machine is going to take twice as long to do it. So that's my biggest gripe with this machine. They delivered it. You know, Equipment Share so far has been great to work with. You know, of course, we're not totally finished with the rental, but I want you to understand and get the grasp the concept of what to look for and what to require and what to ask for when you rent a machine, so that you get what you're paying for. We asked for a 2-speed, we didn't get it. Okay, as far as fuel consumption, I'm going to give you the speeds first. This machine listed online in a snail speed is roughly 3 miles an hour. Turtle mode is roughly 6 miles an hour. Rabbit mode is 10 miles an hour. This machine does not have rabbit mode. Fuel consumption on this job. In a 98-hour span that we've operated this machine, we have burnt 350 and 3/4 gallons. 350 3/4 gallons, so almost 351. If you divide that by 98 hours, the fuel consumption on this machine that's not listed accurately online is 3.576 gallons per hour. That's a little over 3.5 gallons an hour. That fuel consumption in a 98-hour span equated to current price of diesel fuel in this area of Laurel, Delaware is $3.69 per gallon. The fuel that we have spent in a 98-hour span is $1,296.60. That cost is more than the skid loader itself. If you're renting equipment and you don't calculate the fuel cost on this machine, you are going to break the bank and possibly not be able to finish the job because you've ran out of money or you're over budget. So the purpose for this video is to get my frustration out. Yes, it may be a rant, but you need to know. Skid steers burn fuel. I've got a mini skid steer. It's a Vermeer CTX 160. I have not done an extended project where it is a 100-hour run span so that I could give you the duration of the run span from 1 to 100 in gallons per hour. But I do know, using it short periods, it's consuming 2 gallons per hour in that machine is what I'm averaging. If you don't calculate that, that's going to eat in your pocketbook and your project. So I'm going to take you around this machine. That is a T-770. It is a stripped down model. It does not have a backup camera. I ended up going to the store and I bought a Copeland UTV mirror kit. It comes with side mirrors and a center rear view mirror. I bolted the rear view mirror in the center of this cab so that I could see what's behind me in aiding and back dragging with this machine. You can watch the full-length video on my channel. I would suggest you do that. It may help you. This is a no-frills machine. There's no backup camera. It does have a backup beeper. The seat is a vinyl seat. I will show you that. It's very hard. If you're renting this particular machine, you want to bring a chair cushion or something for your butt because 98 hours will wear you out. And you're going to have a hard time standing when you get done riding this horse. Bucking horse, I may add. But as far as everything, okay, fuel consumption on this machine, if you do an equation of gallons per in the 98-hour span, fuel consumption per hour in this machine is about $13.20 per hour when you're actually operating it. Now I'm going to take you through a walk around and show you basic characteristics of this machine. And one thing that I will tell you, there is no DEF monitoring system on this. When you rent a machine, you expect, and they tell you, the machine will come full of fuel, full of depth, and ready to go. Everything's greased, ready to go. In my experience, the second tank full that I've put in this machine, it was requiring depth. I did not know how much depth it would take. I went to the store, I got a 2.5 gallon jug, I dumped it in. I could not find the fill gauge. I found nothing online where it told me where the indicator was to know how much depth was in it. During this whole 98-hour span, this project span, we consumed 7.5 gallons. That's 3 jugs of 2.5 gallons each of depth fluid. That was an additional expense of $39.15. Each 2.5 gallon jug was $13.05 the day that we did this rental. My starting hours on this machine were 6:05.1. Ending hours are 7:03.1, which equals 98 hours. Now, when you're renting this particular machine from Equipment Share, I give you the per day, per week, per month out cost-wise. One thing that they will require, or you have to buy a damage waiver. We have a business here. It's a venue, and she rented this machine under a business license. So she put a rider on her insurance policy, which cost $100 for the rider on this machine. If you don't provide a rider on this machine through Equipment Share, they're going to require you to do a damage waiver, and I believe it was somewhere north of $200 into the addition of what you're paying for the rent on this machine. So let me do you a quick walk around and show you what this. All right, I'm gonna give you a walk around this machine. It's got an 80-inch bucket. It's got an enclosed cab. It's got a wiper blade. Now the sprayer for the door, they did not have any wiper fluid in the sprayer, so couldn't use that. I will tell you the track tension in a 98-hour span, I had to adjust the track tension twice. Track tension is adjusted fairly easy. You take off these, let's see, loosen this bolt, loosen this bolt, loosen this bolt. This cover swings up. The grease zerk is right there. You have to dig out the sand because this whole cavity is packed full of sand now from operation. But tighten the grease, pump the grease zerk up, and it will tighten the track up. The track on this machine was getting so sloppy, and you can see that it's almost due for a replacement. You can see the wear indicator. This is forward, this is in reverse. But you can see, and these teeth, they're really sharp. And you can see the condition of the belt. You got plenty of wear. But had to adjust the track tension twice on this. She was bonding, clicking, and popping. And one particular time I thought I was going to lose the track on it. Like I said, you do not see any stickers that say 2-speed, just T-770. It's the vertical lift, which means it goes straight up and down. It's got the extra linkage in it. Articulated lift is when it rises, and it rises over the cab. This is vertical. It's got a little bit of a bumper right there at the bottom. Got your clean out screen at the top. I could not find the air filter on this particular machine. The mechanic at Bobcat said that the air filter is under this cover right here. You have to take this off. Does not have a rear view camera. That is a backup beeper. Those are cooling fans. You got backup lights. These are the lights that illuminate at night when you turn the selector switch on inside. It has lights on the front of the cab, which came in pretty handy doing this project. Now I will tell you, those lights won't reach 25 yards, which is 75 feet. I was getting about 15 yards of light out of those two lights. Lights in the back, about the same amount of distance. Hydraulic level indicators right there. Lockout bracket, never had to use it, is right there. Track wear on this side, you can see it. There's your sprocket. Those sprockets need to be replaced. She is worn out. If they don't replace the sprockets, from my experience, you will experience early track failure. You can see my video on my channel about sprocket wear and track replacement. This is the rear view door, or the rear door. It's about 1/4 inch plate. It's got 2 fans. Right now I temporarily unplugged them so that I could do this video. Everything is pretty much easily accessible from the back. Of course, your oil filter, fuel filter, fuel fill that I know really well from filling this sucker up so many times. Battery is easily accessible. The hot terminal is kind of tucked back in there, but the negative is easy to get to. Engine oil is really easy to get to. Starter replacement would be awesome. Easy to replace that. AC compressor, alternator is easy to get to. I like this design. This is the you know, the horizontal design. It's not vertical. Now your pump stack, I haven't lifted the cab. I'm not going to. It's not my machine, but from what I'm hearing, the pump stack is easy to get to if you had to do a repair on it. There's the telephone number for Equipment Share if you all are interested in getting some information from them. I've had to take that screen out one time. It was full of twigs and sticks. Clean that out once by removing this knob, pulling the screen out, shaking it, blowing it with a leaf blower. A leaf blower with any skid steer, whether it be a full size or mini, a leaf blower is going to be your friend with this machine. That's a must. But one thing I didn't mention on this side, your depth fill is right there. It's underneath the loader arm secondary support bar. A little difficult to get to. This fill spouts that they give you on the jugs, I was able to do that without any problem. This being an enclosed cab, here's the model, the actual unit number that I rented. That's a 6. It's covered up with a shadow. I will say this, if you're scooping sand and it's off of a sand hill, or you're cutting out, you know, like you're putting in a berm or whatever, and you have any trash debris, I find that a lot of sticks and twigs will come up and make contact with these loader arms. You have to pay really close attention that you do not bend these things up. That is one of the things that I didn't like about this skid loader. There's no protection for that. The other thing that I've noticed about this particular skid loader, okay, if you look at this, all right, this quick coupler does not have a lot of protection with this. This should have been out just a little bit further to protect this. And my concern for doing that, or mentioning this, you see that farm truck right there? I was loading from the side and I had to max the loader out, and I didn't get enough tip angle where this machine won't go up high enough. That farm truck is really tall, and I was started to load from the back to the back of that truck. And when you dump it in the back of a truck with that kind of height, you'll come real close to this glass. I meant like super close. And you dump a pile and you heave a pile, and then you take the guy in the truck is holding his brakes, and you push in on the truck, you're gonna have rollback. So you have to pay attention how close you are with this glass in the back of his dump body. You get too close and you heave a pile into the truck, it rolls back. It's possible it's going to break this glass, or you're going to bend these couplers up. And I was very cautious about that. This is RC ready. It is joystick selectable, and it's RC ready. The dealer at Equipment Share told me about, I was calling him about error codes, because this machine had numerous error codes that kept popping up. He looked on his phone. He said that they have got the information for error codes. It pops up and tells them what's wrong, and he did not notice any error codes. Every time I would shut the machine off, it would clear error codes, and error codes would not stay. This machine is the hardest, roughest seat that I have ever operated on a skid steer. It is adjustable. Pump the handle down, and then pump the handle up, and when you're done getting it set the way you want it, you push it. That's for your weight selection. I found that in 98-hour span, I couldn't hardly walk after an 8-hour day in this machine. So I got a 1-inch foam pad from your insulator, your insulation supply store. It's EPDM. I can't think of what it is, but it's well worth the investment, especially the ride. Now, hopping in this cab, I'm going to go ahead and start this thing up. No, I'm not. It's going to be too loud. You ain't going to hear it. She's got a lap bar, as you can see right here. She's got to put down. This rear view mirror is what I installed because of the visibility going to the back. You can watch my full video on that on my channel. This machine does not have a backup camera or a backup monitor. You can see that it's blanked out. It does not have a radio. I believe this is the spot for the radio. The cigarette lighter, that works for charging your cell phone. I would hold my cell phone here with the magnetic mount, charge my phone at the same time. You've got your parking button. You got a lock release button. You got your lights. You got your auto throttle, auxiliary hydraulics, which I never had to use. This is your instrument so that you can scroll through. This is your temp gauge. This is your fuel gauge, which constantly pegged down to the 0 on empty quite frequently in this machine. It is a key start. There's no keypad. It's ISO and H quick selector button. I keep it in ISO. This is your forwards, your backwards, and then your turning. This machine, or this joystick over here, let her up, let her down, and then you got your tip and your tilt function. Your safety features on this thing, of course, this releases the, if something happens, machine flips, you got to push the glass out. Cam lock, this door, that door, the whole door pops off. Back situation, if you have to get out of this cab, pull this tab, it releases this seal going around the glass, and the glass pops out. Air vents in this machine were somewhat adequate. It's got 1, 2, it's got 3, 4, 5, and I do not see one over here. That is, I believe, the windshield wiper fill. The controls for this. Okay, this is a fan speed selector switch. This is an off and an on. Alright, this is cold, this is hot. In this machine, I have a fault with this machine. There is no way to put it to all AC or all heat. So you would mix the temperature with this control so that you can get a comfortable temperature. I found myself during the heat of the day on full blast, and then I point the vents at my head. During the evening hours, at night, it was getting a little cool. I'd put it on low, and I would constantly turn this back because it was too cold. Well, when I got to the point past this line, when I got right there, it went from cold to hot. This is not a comfortable, adequate control for hot and cold. Anything past this position will put you in heat mode. So there is no mix in temperature on this control. It's not a true mixer. Turtle, rabbit. This machine does not have rabbit, but that is high idle. If you have this selection on auto idle right here, auto idle over here, if you step on that foot pedal right down there on the floor, right there, you can see in the video, it will idle up, so you can actually idle it up from the foot pedal. This turning that will leave you in full speed. If you lay off of the joysticks, whether it be the right hand joystick for the bucket boom controls or the forward and backwards for the movement control, it will idle down over a period of, I think, 30 seconds. It will idle down automatically if this auto idle button is engaged. This machine is a workhorse. There's another event there. I didn't see that. That's probably for defrosting. One over there. This machine is a workhorse. But now that I've operated it for 98-hour period. Oh look, we got a code popping up. I'm going to put other pictures right now in the video with all the codes that popped up on this machine. It's been so many codes I can't remember all of the codes, but I'll put some video or some screenshot clips right here so you can see what happened with this machine in a 98-hour period. Whether you're interested in buying this machine or you know, just using this machine as a rental, this will give you a little bit more informed decision if you're either interested in renting it or buying it, and the cost effectiveness of it. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings to a conclusion of what it costs to rent a skid loader with all the fees that are going to be implied upon you. I hope this video was helpful and informative to you all, my viewers. I hope y'all liked it. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel for future videos on things electricians do.